Good evening, everyone. Thank you for joining us tonight. This is EmoNews every moment online. In tonight's headlines, Miss DSC Mass Jamboree Pageant returns after 5-year hiatus. Do It Center donates agricultural materials to Caleb Laura Primary as part of 7th anniversary celebrations. Government of Dominica grants official funeral for former Minister Julius. Fab Adventure Tours launched in Benz, expanding families' legacy of successful businesses. CTO and ICF sign MOU to boost sustainable tourism in the Caribbean. One young man was shot dead in Silver Lake. Police launch investigation. And Dominica sweeps Anguilla to remain unbeaten at ECVA Under-23 Men's Volleyball Championship.
We're at the different phases in life. We move at a different pace. All we need is to be supported. Cause when the baby's coming, business needs revamping, the new job's starting, and you need an outfit. Let momentum hook you up. Momentum will hook you up. The wedding's planning, rent due dates coming. Momentum is your support financing. Let momentum hook you up. Momentum will hook you up.
Welcome back, everyone. I'm your presenter, Rick Francis, and this is a news broadcast for the 14th of November, 2025. Kicking things off this evening, the government of Dominica has accorded an official funeral for the late Julius Timothy, former government minister, long-serving member of parliament, and distinguished businessman who passed away on October 19 at the age of 72. Timothy served the nation as a member of parliament from 1980 to 1985, and again from 1990 to 2014, contributing significantly to national development throughout his public and private sector leadership. The official funeral will be held on Saturday at the St. Alphonsus Catholic Church beginning at 2 p.m. Interment will follow at the Roman Catholic Cemetery in Roseau. Viewing for the late Julius Timothy will take place from 11:30 a.m. to 1:30 p.m. at the St. Alphonsus Parish Hall. Dominica is one of the several utilities from around the region taking part in the Jamaica recovery efforts through the Caribbean Disaster Assistance Program, CDAP. The Caribbean Electric Utility Services Corporation, CARELEC, is an association of electric energy utility companies from around the region. Let's hear from two of the workers deployed to Jamaica.
And I'm very pleased on taking on this adventure. I would say it's an adventure because it's a learning phase for me. That's my second time. I've been in Grenada last year, 2024, and this year is no exception again. I volunteered. It's a learning experience in general, based on our field of work and camaraderie, everything that goes with it. The exposure out there as well. The system as we know it is different from our system. They have a different setup, so it's a good venture. Looking forward to it.
Well, I'm happy to be part of the team. I'm always willing and excited to help. Well, Grenada was my first time, so it was a learning experience, also exciting one. So it's going to help me in Jamaica because right now I'm better prepared as to what to expect and how to go about it. The team is experienced. The team leader has a lot of experience also, and all of us went through restoration with Hurricane Maria, and most of the guys were also in Grenada. So it's a well-experienced team. So yeah, I'm excited.
As part of its 7th anniversary celebrations, Do It Center Dominica made a special presentation earlier today at the Caleb Laura Primary School, donating materials to support the school's agricultural project. The initiative reflects Do It Center's ongoing commitment to community development and its belief that education extends beyond classroom walls. The company described the donation as a gesture promoting growth, learning, and sustainability, core values that define its mission. The presentation formed part of a series of activities marking 7 years of service under the theme Built to Last. The Dominica State College, DSC, is set to revive one of its most anticipated campus traditions, the Miss DSC Mass Jamboree pageant, returning in February 2026 after a 5-year hiatus. 6 vibrant young women will vie for the coveted crown: Shakia Andrew, Nina Brown, Kaylee Clark, Mikida Joseph, Natalia Christmas, and Kenisha Demizen. More than just a beauty pageant, the Miss DSC Mass Jamboree celebrates Dominica culture, creativity, and youth empowerment, offering contestants a platform to showcase talent, confidence, and leadership. DSC is inviting individuals, organizations, and businesses to sponsor contestants and support the revival of this exciting cultural tradition. For sponsorship inquiries, contact the Student Affairs Department. Fab Adventure Tours, a new addition to Dominica's tourism offerings, was officially launched on Thursday in the community of Benz. The business is family-owned by the Fabian family, well known for their long-standing record of successful enterprises across the island. During the launch, Ezra Fabian expressed his delight at bringing this new venture to life. In his remarks, he shared a brief history of the family's entrepreneurial journey and the inspiration behind Fab Adventure Tours.
I'm very delighted to be here today and to just share with you a little history of the idea of Fab Adventures. It was in 2018 when Lizra, Mavis and I decided to be tourists, and we decided to tour Europe. And including that, it was we went to Morocco. And one of the activities that we decided to do in Morocco was ATV desert tour. And I saw my wife for the first time. I didn't call your name. For the first time, ride her own ATV. And when she started, she was very scared. But before half a mile, she wanted to race with me. And it was a big excitement for us. So, as usual, when I travel, I look at things and see how I could implement them in Dominica. And I saw that would be a good idea for us to do here. There was nobody really organized doing ATV tour.
The company begins operations with 10 ATVs, offering visitors and locals an exciting new way to explore Dominica's natural beauty. Fabian emphasized that the initiative is focused on boosting tourism in Dominica and contributing to community development.
The idea is to have tourists coming to Benz, tourists exploring Dominica, and we believe that this is the future. If you have, and not only tourists is not white people.
True.
Tourists is not white people.
True.
Tourists is anybody that decides to go to another country. You can be a tourist because we were tourists in Morocco.
Of course.
You know, so anybody that is not part of your country that decide to come and to explore your country, to know, to stay at an Airbnb, to stay at a hotel, to stay with friends, we consider them tourists.
Yes.
And so we want to be part and be involved in the tourist business.
Parliamentary Representative, the Honorable Lakia Joseph, delivered congratulatory remarks during the ceremony. praising the Fabian family for their continued investment in the region and commitment to building opportunities in Benz.
I'm really happy to see it actually come to fruition, and I want to say congratulations to Mr. Ezra, Ellison, Miss Fabian, Bobby, that hiding at the back there, the Fabian family who have always been a pillar of our community, and by no doubt they will continue to be a pillar of our community, and I really want to congratulate them, and I want you to join me in congratulating them.
Fab Adventure Tours is expected to enhance the island's adventure tourism sector and provide meaningful experiences for all who visit. Also in local news this evening, Mrs. Sophia Anselm LaRocque, Dominica's National Ozone Officer, proudly represented the country at the 37th meeting of the parties to the Montreal Protocol, MOP37, held from November 3 to 7, 2025 in Nairobi, Kenya. The Montreal Protocol remains one of the world's most successful environmental agreements, safeguarding the ozone layer through the phase-out of ozone-depleting substances and the reduction of climate-warming gases. This year's discussions focus on strengthening monitoring of controlled substances, preparing for the next multilateral fund replenishment, managing end-of-life refrigerants and other chemicals, and also ensuring the protocol remains effective in addressing future environmental challenges. Dominica received special recognition as Mrs. Anselm LaRocque served as co-chair of the contact group of enhancing regional atmospheric monitoring alongside Alain Wilmot of Belgium. Her leadership underscores Dominica's strong commitment to environmental protection, as well as its growing role in regional and international cooperation. The National Cooperative Credit Union celebrated its 15th anniversary with an award ceremony at the State House Conference Room, honoring 35 pioneers who led the historic 2010 merger that created the NCCU. President Sylvanie Burton, government officials, and credit union leaders attended the event. CEO Curve Charles called the ceremony a tribute to the visionaries who built the institution, noting that NCCU is now focused on expanding its digital services and strengthening member experience. Board President Clement Masley emphasized that the credit union's growth must continue to benefit members and communities. Formed from the merger of 5 local credit unions and later expanded to Castlebruce and La Plaine, the NCCU remains Dominica's largest credit union with more than 54,000 members. The celebration held under the theme 15 Years Strong, Our Community, Our Spirit, Our Commitment, ended with recognition of the 35 honorees. Some of the honorees were Alima Irish, Dexter Ducre, Clifford Gibbons. J.L. Joseph received on behalf of a deceased father, Aurelius Joseph, Fevria Valmont, Josephine Dublin, Jeffrey Letard, Thomas Dorset, Arundel Thomas, Erickson Alganan de Gallery, Carlisle John Baptist, Festus Darimper, K. Fontaine, Augustus Lewis, Darius Polidor, Vernice Belloni, Magdalene Honoré, Curve Charles, Cletus Joseph, and Rosemary Valda Sway, just to name a few. Congratulations to all. Also in local news this evening, in celebration of World Diabetes Day 2025, the Dominica Diabetes Association, DOMDA, held a very informative press launch at the conference room of the NDFD earlier today. Consultant endocrinologist Tasha Maxine told of the number of persons being diagnosed as diabetic in the population. Using real stories of clients, Dr. Maxime explained how persons are being diagnosed younger and younger.
Mainly diabetics, as I said before. On average, I see 200 to 300 patients monthly. My youngest patient currently is a 3-year-old who suffers from type 1 diabetes. And my eldest patient is a 93-year-old who suffers from type 2 diabetes. So as you can see, diabetes is no respecter of age.
Dr. Maxine, however, echoed hope that the health team is committed to assisting persons beat the diagnosis.
Thank you very much for listening. To all the diabetic patients, please know that you have the support of the Ministry of Health. We are decided to provide them quality care and support. Diabetes is not a death sentence. It can be managed and complications can be prevented. Thanks again to the Diabetes Association for your invitation today to the Ministry of Health. I say thank you for your support, and I myself personally look forward to continue working with you all. Thank you very much.
Pharmacist and prominent health educator Carlton Lakodak also delivered remarks.
Disease management, medication cost, hospitalization, and the long-term care needs of those living with diabetes and its complications. In Dominica, as in many Caribbean nations, diabetes prevalence continues to rise, driven by factors such as unhealthy diets, physical inactivity, tobacco use, and inequalities in access to preventative care. The recent global and regional health data reminds us that timely intervention, community engagement, and workplace wellness initiatives are essential to bind that curve.
The theme for World Diabetes Day this year is diabetes across life stages. The theme recognizes that every person living with diabetes should have access to integrated care, supportive environments, and policies that promote health, dignity, and self-management. DOM does focus on workplace and will visit various workplaces across the island and also perform health checks. The Commonwealth of Dominica Police Force, CDPF, has launched an investigation into the shooting death of a young man from Silver Lake. The incident reportedly took place early Friday morning in the community. The victim has been identified as Eddie James Jr. Also in local news this evening, reports indicated that an accident occurred in Loda earlier today, involving a school bus carrying pre-K students from St. Joseph, which went off-road. According to initial information, no major injuries were reported. The students were taken to the emergency room at the Dominica China Friendship Hospital for evaluation. More updates will follow as information becomes available. And that's all for local news this evening. Stay tuned for regional news coming up next. And now for regional news. The St. Lucia Fire Service is undergoing its most significant transformation in decades. After years of aging equipment, limited ambulance coverage, and staff shortages, a major government investment is now revitalizing the nation's emergency response. Tonight, we take a closer look at how millions of dollars in new funding are modernizing operations, upgrading appliances, and strengthening frontline capacity across the island.
The past 3 years, we've gotten a significant sum to refurbish and upkeep fire stations. So, as we speak, every fire station in St. Lucia have gotten the attention that it deserves. Every one of them have been refurbished. New appliances, new furniture, I'm talking about appliances, new furniture have been purchased. So every single one, including we're able to get funding to do an extension at Sufa Fire Station.
The multi-million-dollar investment in the St. Lucia Fire Service is supported by financing from the Caribbean Development Bank, and officials say while staffing and station upgrades remain ongoing, the improvements already mean faster response times and greater readiness in times of crisis.
The Caribbean Tourism Organization, CTO, has signed a Memorandum of Understanding, MOU, with the US-based consulting firm ICF to advance sustainable tourism, climate adaptation, and resilience in the Caribbean. The agreement, signed during the World Travel Market in London, focuses on technical assistance, destination governance, capacity building, and promoting responsible tourism aligned with the UN Sustainable Development Goals. CTO Secretary General Donna Regis Prosper said the partnership will strengthen member countries by leveraging ICF's expertise in climate resilience and sustainable development. ICF's head of tourism, Nicholas Golfinopoulos, noted that the collaboration aims to support the Caribbean's efforts towards sustainable and inclusive tourism growth. The MOU remains in effect until 2029. And that's a wrap for regional news this evening. Stay tuned for international news coming up next.
Look here, it's not just a game, it's our game. Dominica's very own jackpot, Match 5.
And now for international news this evening. Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem has begun issuing $10,000 bonuses to selected TSA employees for exceptional service during the recent 6-week federal shutdown. The first payments were distributed at Houston's Bush Intercontinental Airport, where staffing shortages have caused long security delays. Noem has not clarified eligibility criteria, though employees who took extra shifts appear favored. The move follows a presidential push to reward air traffic controllers with perfect attendance, raising concerns that TSA and controller staff who miss work due to financial strain will be excluded. Transportation Secretary Sean Duffy has endorsed the incentive, while union leaders say the recognition is welcome but should be extended to all federal workers affected by the shutdown. Officials have not said how many TSA employees will receive the bonuses. And now moving over to Washington, U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio urged international action to stop weapons supplies to Sudan's Rapid Support Forces, RSF, accusing the group of atrocities in El Fasher. Speaking after a G7 meeting in Canada, Rubio cited mass killings, sexual violence, and other abuses committed by the RSF, which has been fighting Sudan's army since April 2023. The UAE has been accused of arming the RSF, allegations both Abu Dhabi and the group deny. Rubio avoided directly criticizing the UAE, but said global cooperation is needed to halt the violence. The US and its Quad partners, the UAE, Egypt, and Saudi Arabia, are working on a ceasefire plan, though past agreements have collapsed. Clashes continue across Sudan, with fresh reports of massacre in Darfur. The UAE has also raised concerns about the alleged abuses by Sudan's army, including possible chemical weapon use. And with this story, that concludes international news this evening. Stay tuned for the sports segment coming up after this message. And now for the sports segment. In cricket, New Zealand wrapped up the T20 series in dominant fashion, defeating the West Indies by 8 wickets in the final match. Chasing 140, New Zealand reached 141 for 2 in just 15.4 overs with 26 balls to spare. With this victory, New Zealand takes the 5-match series 3-1. The much-awaited one-day international series between New Zealand and the West Indies kicks off tomorrow. The first ODI of the 3-match series is scheduled to begin at 9 p.m. local time. Both teams will be looking to start strong as they head into this limited overs contest. Fans can follow the match updates through the live commentary, squad listings, stats, and streaming options provided by the organizers. We'll keep you updated with the latest from the series as it unfolds. Stay tuned. And tennis is serving up some positive news here in Dominica. The Dominica Olympic Committee, together with the Dominica Lawn Tennis Association, is on the verge of revitalizing the sport on the island, and therefore saw it fit to invite and welcome International Tennis Federation ITF Development Officer Mr. John Goody to carry out a tennis coaching course at the Dominica Olympic Committee building at Bath Estate for a 1-week period. The course objective was to have coaches certified and equipped with basic coaching knowledge that meets ITF standards. The course ended on Wednesday at the Goodwill Primary School, where coaches and officials demonstrated coaching drills with the students. Experienced coach and vice president of the Dominica Lawn Tennis Association, Mr. Andy Carter, was fully involved and gave immense support and help to the aspiring coaches throughout the week. Here is President of the Dominica Lawn Tennis Association, Mr. Davidson Barron, with a few words.
All right. Well, with the Tennis Association, we're looking at developing the sport. And in order to develop the sport, we're going to have coaches who can teach the sport. So the association felt it important to bring an ITF instructor here, which is from the International Tennis Federation, to actually start the ball rolling in terms of the development of the coaches. So what we're having now is a coaching process, a coaching for interested persons, and we have a few people that have joined in and have been taking the course and developing this junior tennis initiative coaching program. It's the first level of the coaching. We're hoping that upon successful completion, then we move to the next level, which is level 1. And in order for you to take a team to travel, you need to have at least a level 1 certification. So I think it's important that we develop tennis. We have the sports division who has agreed to be partner with us on that. It's part of their curriculum. Tennis is part of their curriculum. So we're hoping that through this program, there'll be a resurgence in the whole tennis atmosphere.
And now let's hear from Mr. John Goody, ITF's Development Officer.
We had the course, we started on Friday the 6th. It was, I had coaches all the way from Pebush and Portsmouth and Rousseau. Good group of people. They had to get used to the standards of coaching. And this moment here in Goodwill Primary has been overwhelming, because the kids are, first of all, they have a lot of natural ability, they have a lot of spirit, and they have so much energy. So we had to deal with that. Lucky we were able to go indoors, but we have seen a good form of talent identification. Today I spoke with Sports Division. Sports Division is all the way behind this project. The Olympic Committee is behind it. The Tennis Association is ready. So if possible, I would love to be back to continue the work, if at all possible. But I enjoy it, and I think we have a pretty good future for tennis in Dominica.
Dominica's under-23 men remain undefeated at the ECVA Volleyball Championships after a clean sweep against Anguilla. It was a tough, scrappy match, but Dominica pulled through with standout performances. Larian Toulon led with 10 points, including 8 kills and 2 aces, while Sharon Vidal added 9 points with 7 kills and 2 aces. But that's not all. Dominica chalked up another impressive victory this morning, defeating St. Vincent and the Grenadines 3-1 in match number 8. Dominica took the win with set scores of 25-14, 25-20, 25-13, and 25-17. Congratulations, guys, and all the best in the next match. And that's all for the sports segment this evening. Stay tuned for the weather report from the Dominica Meteorological Service.
There we go now.
And this brings us to the end of tonight's news broadcast for the 14th of November 2025. I'm your presenter, Rick Francis. On behalf of the entire newscast, we say thank you for viewing. This has been EmoNightly News, every moment online. Good night.